Anyway, like we were just talking about, bar chords this week are at the heart of what we're starting to understand more other than just they exist, and approach the task of successfully fretting them with all the technique stuff we discussed in the previous video, which just short version is my thumb's in classical position, and I'm using this part of my hands as well, which you got a 10-minute video of me talking about bar chords and stuff. So actual song, and the way we got into this conversation today, so again, it's like I'm playing an E shape, and we know this is the note G now, even if we forget all the other ones from G, C, A, D, that's G. That's a G major bar chord. And what we're doing is freeing up our pinky and moving our ring finger to the 4th string. That's the shape that you were playing a whole bunch during the lesson today. And that's what we've done, is we've freed up our pinky, and since we're playing finger style, it doesn't matter that this string is the 5th string's is missing a note. So yeah, we're just doing stereo instructions for what we're doing today. Remove pinky, replace with ring finger. And now just make sure that none of this shit's happening before you try any of your knuckles sandwiching in the wrong direction before you even try to play.
Just classic.
Yeah, and now this concept that we're currently discussing is just how you fret musical notes, and you're aware of that. That we're trying to come like straight in at the string and just touch one single note. But like when you're playing a C chord, if this happens, it's a problem. This is the same exact concept that you're using. You know that you're meant to just come straight in at the string and just touch one string, unless you happen to be barring or whatever. And fortunately, that concept is that straightforward. Unless you're barring, there's never going to be a good time to do that. So, and it's like the good news on this part is it's a position thing, and it's more of like a remnant of when this was much harder to push down for you. So, just kind of be sure you're in good position without any of this happening, even if you have to set up for 5 minutes. The more you embrace starting position, and taking however long it takes to wrestle your hand, then it'll actually be a time saver. Cool, so today we're going to be in our traditional right hand position of, my thumb's playing the bass strings, and then on strings 1, 2, and 3. My high strings, just the exact same position that we were in everything else we've played, I believe. So no new concepts with our right hand. The bass line we're going to be playing when we're playing our G chords is 6th string, 4th string, just like when we were playing G back here, the same bass note, or when you play E or whatever. So that's something you already know how to do. Yeah, and the 2 chord shapes I actually tabbed out are just, hey, this one's just a G chord, and this one's a G7 chord, which is like if I was back here playing E7. I'm going to run out of fingers to illustrate that it's the same thing, but it is the same thing. And, that's a concept you also need to just embrace as being that easy, that it's like, it's the same thing as doing this here to this here.
Okay.
If we're not adding open strings, everything sounds the same when you move it around. So yeah, those are just try to get where you can get that string out, and don't worry about your 5th string sounding, because when we're playing, we're going to be not actually striking it. Like if you were striking, that would actually be a problem right now, but it's not. So our song, left-hand overview in the first measure is I'm playing G7, and then I take my pinky off. So again, just make sure your hand's not doing this or anything before you even get started. And our first measure goes, there's 1, 2. So 1, 2, and rest assured, like, this is on the screen. I'm recording myself doing this right now, and you will have it. Yeah, so no new concepts rhythmically. So yeah, I'm going. So on 2 and I'm taking my pinky off. I'm going 1, 2, and there's our first 2 things. If you want to do that too, you can. And that sounds like. And then the second part is just just notes in the chord. Input. So the second half of that, I'll just start there. We've just gone 1, 2, and now starting on beat 3, we're just going bass string, second string, bass string, 3 and 4, no big deal. Same as going, or whatever. So this is, low bass note, a melody note on the second string, high bass note. So not really being concerned with whether it rings out successfully or not, just go, that you can do in your sleep, aside from the ouch my hand part. Cool. So we just went 1, 2, and then this part that we just did, and that included the good news is, the second part, we're just going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to put our pinky on the first string instead. Exact same hand movement. So, timing, where was, now starting in the next one where it says G naught. Pinky up on the first string instead of on the second string, still at the 5th fret, or the 6th fret rather. We're going to be going, which is identical to the thing you just did. The only difference is my pinky's on the first string instead of the second string. Otherwise it's literally identical to what you just like to do, with no further curveballs. You will actually know how to play this measure when you approach it for the first time, and if it doesn't make sense why, it's because it's totally, they're identical. The only difference is the pinky being on the first string rather than the second string in the second half, so they're virtually identical. There's no, and the hard parts are identical literally. So there's our, 1 chord G stuff that we're trying to do with my finger up all high, but my thumb not up all high. I'm not trying to have my palm touching the instrument. So yeah, it sounds like. Just over here, no new techniques. I'm just going 1, 2, 3, bing, 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 no strings. Cool. This will be the same as in first position as going. So if you want to learn it there too, you can. It's just which is the whole point of us doing this, is just recognizing same shape. All the same stuff works everywhere. There's an E, there's an E. We're doing pinky stuff in front of it. It feels identical, it looks identical. So then we moved onto our C, where we're just mapping out kind of, here's a C, and here's a C7 right here. Just playing C, we've identified as being too high degree of difficulty. But the A7 version of that, which you gotta, if you need to do it back here to realize what an A7 looks like, you're in capo, and that's the chord we're playing here. That's the only new chord, just learning that is. Here's C, here's C minor, here's C7, and that was just the 2 basic A shapes. That one's too hard, minor versus easy, and then this 7th chord, and they're all shapes you know. So we're just gonna map out. I go from C to C. It goes. There's this open string where we transition. Which is what lets us get to there without having to go. Which is, I can't even do. So yeah, there's one. There's our first measure, which will sound awkward to end there. No new stuff, this is easier than what you've been working on. And then we're ending up here, where we're going to make the part super easy. We're just going to go to make the part up here easy. So first half. Second half. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's our whole thing we're doing, and there you go. Like, look, C and C and C and E, or rather, and G and G and G and so forth. So there's the whole thing you could loop. Would sound like. And then theoretically there would be like a 5 chord, which might just be like D or something. But I think just doing that cycle will be good enough on its own, just 2 of the G thing, 2 of the C thing. And again, you're just trying to be in good position pushing down if you're not getting it successfully. This is just time for ouch my hand. There you go.